the EPCHS. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at the EPPodcast.com.
And bellying up to the 9-foot homemade oak bar right here in my basement in Evergreen Park, and pour yourself a cold one. The weekend is upon us, and this is the EP Podcast Weekend Edition. Now, the last couple of weeks, we've sat down with one person and had a big 30-minute conversation. That is not happening this week. A lot of different factors for that, but mainly there was a story I wanted to talk about, and there's no way we could stretch that 30 minutes. But we do have a very interesting guest on to talk about a great cause being headed up by a bunch of kids over at Evergreen Park Community High School. I have other things planned, though, so we're going to have a little bit of fun today. It's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. First National Bank of Evergreen Park is dedicated to supporting our area with great banking tools and friendly service. They're a true community bank that provides this neighborhood with customized financial solutions like total access checking, an account with free ATMs nationwide. That means use any ATM, anywhere, anytime, any fee, and they pay the fee back, so you don't pay anything. Plus, when you open up a Total Access checking account today, you get $300 as a bonus. Open online at bankevergreenpark.com/totalaccess/EP. $100 required to open. Requirements to qualify. Must use link to apply. Member FDIC. If you are out on Thursday and you have a little bit of a hangover because it was the high holiday, St. Patrick's Day, we will try to ease that a little bit on this program today. Or maybe you're just nuts and you're going to do like 4 days. Like a bender. You're a crazy person. At least maybe in the middle of it all, you'll have some EP podcasts to enjoy. Let's take a look at the weather and tell you what your weekend's going to be like. The day this episode comes out, rain in the forecast, 99% chance. Watch it not rain. That's the 1%. But no, it's probably going to pour. 44 degrees the high, 37 the low. On Saturday, pretty much the same thing temperature-wise, and rain. The weird thing is at some point overnight it might turn to snow, but you're going to basically have the first half of this weekend just be a soggy mess. After the soggy mess, though, it warms back up again. 60 degrees, the high on Sunday, mostly sunny, and it looks like we're going to stay in the 60s or high 50s at least for the first half of the week, but we might get a cold spell in the back end of March. A lot of you have watched on the news over the last couple of weeks this invasion of Ukraine by Russia, and it's one of those things where sometimes you can feel a little helpless, and you don't know if there's anything you can do to help out. But a group of students over at Evergreen Park Community High School in their service club are trying to do a good thing. They have started a drive, a supply drive, to help the people of Ukraine, and they're looking for donations from you. Joining me on the line right now, faculty sponsor over at EPCHS for the service club, Eileen Durkin. How are you, Eileen?
I'm great. Thank you for having me today.
Oh, thanks for jumping on. So, how is the drive going? Because I think originally you guys were thinking a couple of days for this thing. Now it's going to be going on until the 25th. So take me through how things are going and where these kids got this idea.
Sure. We have a great group of kids who enjoy helping out the community. And, we were talking and trying to figure out a way to help the refugees and Ukrainians. So we just kind of researched a few different opportunities. We spoke with one of our board members, Marianne Kuchki, and she agreed to kind of help with this collection. And so the students helped make a poster. We've hung it up around school. We've also decided to collaborate with 3 other groups. So we're also collaborating with our National Honor Society, who's having a talent show this Friday, March 18th, and we'll be collecting donations at the door of that event. And then our leadership group, they are having a lock-in event on March 25th. So students will also be collecting donations at that event. So, kind of collaborating as a community, our service club, kind of jump-started the event, and it's going pretty well. We've got quite a few donations, definitely looking for more. So anyone who's interested, they can drop any kind of donation right at the front door. We're looking for new blankets, diapers, formula, toothpaste, toothbrushes. we do have a list of those items on our website under announcements as well.
How do you figure out how to get it to them? Like I'm watching the news, and it feels to me like it's not easy to get things over there right now. It seems really scary. So are you working with another group, or is there somebody that you contact that's way down the line? It's like, this is how we get all these donations that everybody's collecting around the country to the Ukraine?
Yes, that's a great question. So Marianne Kutchi, who is on our board, she works with the Rotary as well as St. Bernadette. And so they have a contact that will be bringing the donations directly to Ukraine. So we've kind of used her as a resource, and she has a point of contact to get the materials where they need to be.
How much discussion do the kids have about this? I mean, I wonder about it. As a guy I'm 45, so around the time that high school, like end of 8th grade, beginning of high school, the Gulf War broke out. And it was like the first time you could see a war on TV. And I know it was shocking to me, but this generation has seen so much. So do they talk a lot about this? Is the service club more bringing it to the forefront amongst the entire student body, or was the whole student body basically they knew what was going on and it's a hot topic inside the high school?
I would say I think it's a hot topic. I mean, some of our students have family that live over there. It's impacting our community in a lot of direct and indirect ways. So, students, we have an amazing group of students here. They're very compassionate and concerned group of kids who, I really think they think a lot about the community, and they're always looking for ways to help. So, they do talk about it. It is brought up in classes. The way they kind of attack a problem is, how do we help? And that's what I love about them. They're always just trying to find ways to help.
So Service Club, before I let you go, tell me a little bit about this club, because it sounds like you have a group that does stuff that's been doing things before this and afterwards will continue to do projects like this. And I imagine a parent maybe listening to this podcast going, why isn't my kid in the Service Club over there at the high school? So tell everybody a little bit about what that club does.
Sure, we're a great group. So it's myself and Mrs. Papasideris. We're the sponsors of the club, and we meet at least once a month, and we do a service project once a month. Very student-driven group. So we meet at the beginning of the year and try and plan out our events throughout the year, and then add in things, of course, as they come up. So we do anything from collections like this one. We just did a blanket drive for the homeless. We will go to Feed My Starving Children. We partnered with another group where we went downtown and fed the homeless of Chicago. So a variety of things. We've also written notes to the local nursing homes to try and cheer up our elderly community. So a diverse group of kids who, again, just kind of sits back, looks at the needs of our community and ways to help and make it a better place.
Eileen Durkin on the line with us. Once again, you can do this all the way through the 25th of this month over at the high school. They just bring it to the front door of the high school if somebody wants to bring something over?
That's right. Yep. We have a box there, and we'll be happy to take any supplies that our people are willing to donate.
You're doing great work. Say hi to the kids. Tell them they're doing a great job. Thanks for getting this out to everybody, and hopefully we'll make this drive even bigger. Remember, they're looking for anything from toothbrushes and toothpaste to diapers and blankets. Look at what's going on your TV and think to yourself, what could they need? And just make sure you don't send anything breakable, because it's probably going to be on a very long journey, and it's not going to be an easy one getting over to the people in the Ukraine. Eileen, thanks so much for jumping on the show.
Thank you so much, Chris.
It is now time for your EP Podcast Bulletin Board. Let's take a look at some things going on this weekend and things you might want to know a little bit more about. Saturday morning this weekend, March the 19th, Mayor Kelly Burke is going to have some coffee. Why is this a big deal? She'll be having coffee with you, 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. at the Village Hall, 9418 South Kedzie Avenue, on the second floor in the council chambers. You can sit down and talk about anything with the mayor. We will be talking with her coming up next week. We're about a week away from our interview with Mayor Kelly Burke. If you have a question, I would say this weekend, the last chance to get that in to be guaranteed it being asked of the mayor. Use the voicemail option or send us a written question at theeppodcast.com. The Village of Evergreen Park is seeking a qualified and motivated individual to serve as a public works equipment operator. I don't think I've ever met anybody that works for the Village that has anything bad to say about it. If you're looking for work, you might want to check that out on the website. Grinders Training Academy at 102nd and Kedzie Avenue is training kids getting ready for, let's say, baseball or softball, or let's say they play a high school sport and they want to do some conditioning. Reach out to them through grindersacademy.com. That's grinders with a Z academy.com. Coaches can rent out their facilities and they provide private coaching. A sport your kids might want to play, youth soccer. This spring, the Village putting it on for ages 4 to 14. Registration can be done at the rec center, but you got to get it done by Saturday, this weekend. Speaking of the kids, Paisha Allen from the youth department, one of the guests on Monday's show. We're also going to talk about Texas Hold'em and a massive tournament that I believe is going to be a big hit next weekend. Just remember, if you need a tow, you have a junk car, you need it moved away, I want you to put this number in your phone. Give Tony a call. Tell him we sent you. Dreamers Towing and Recovery right out of Evergreen Park, available 24/7, 365, 773-410-4549. And you just heard what the kids over at Evergreen Park High School are up to when it comes to the crisis in Ukraine. There are also students getting an 11-day food drive together here at the end of March. The entire thing goes to benefit the Village of Evergreen Park Food Pantry at 98th and Washtenaw. Donations for this food drive can also be accepted at the school's main entrance starting on March 21st, and it goes through the end of the month. Anything non-perishable and also non-food items like laundry detergent, toilet paper will be accepted. That is your Southside Bulletin Board, and this is the EP Podcast. All right, a little bit shorter version of the EP Podcast, Weekend Edition. Don't worry, we'll make it up to you on Monday. If you've missed any episodes, go back, check them out. They're available anywhere podcasts can be found and always at the EPPodcast.com. Another podcast that came out this week you might want to listen to, Southside Pod, covering the area outside of Evergreen Park around the South Side. And we covered a lot. I want to play just a little segment, about 3-4 minutes of the episode currently up right now. All the episodes are on demand, just like the EP Podcast. The only difference is it's available anywhere podcasts can be found and always at southsidepod.com. You're going to hear our good friend John Brand, who's normally on this show, talking about a beer made with blood oranges. And you're going to hear some audio from Cork and Kerry on Western Avenue during the Southside Irish Parade last weekend. Get the full episode at southsidepod.com. Check it out if you have not yet. We will see you Monday right here on the EP Podcast. Bye-bye, everybody.
A pitcher of beer, a pitcher of beer. Let's order another pitcher of beer. That pitcher of beer should come over here. I love that pitcher of beer.
I'm going to tell you one of the best parts of my week is when I know I'm going to come in and visit John Brand and Open Outcry at 109th and Western. This beer I'm drinking, I don't normally have this kind. When you said what it was, I was like, oh, my wife would drink this. But it's good, but it's not the first one that my eyes go to on a menu. Tell me about it.
It's sweet. What you're drinking is Dodd-Frank, which is our milkshake IPA. That milkshake IPA was made with blood orange. What defines a milkshake IPA? Are you familiar with the style of milkshake IPA?
No. Explain it to me. I mean, once we did hazy, I was like, all right, we got our New England, and then they came out with milkshake, and I was like, now we're just getting a little bit fancy. You know, I'm a West Coast IPA guy that makes your hair curl up on the back of your neck because it's strong. That's my kind of IPA. So as we get to these variations, I get confused.
Milkshake IPAs could be a little controversial in the beer world, especially with traditional brewers. They don't like brewing these things. But we've talked about hazy IPAs on your show in the past, and it's not necessarily a traditional style. However, it's a great style because it's introduced a lot of people to craft beer, or a nice gateway beer to have conversations with guests that will drink this, but then you can introduce them to other styles. And that's the case here. A milkshake IPA is defined by, well, first of all, it's hazy, right? Just like a hazy IPA. They typically have lactose in it to make them sweeter, and there's a little lactose in there. They're also, a lot of brewers will add vanilla bean or vanilla extract to a milkshake IPA. Not always, but a lot of times. Ours, in this case, does not. And it always comes with a fruit, some sort of fresh fruit puree. This one is blood orange.
Does your milkshake bring all the boys to the yard?
Damn right. It's better than yours.
All right, we're at Cork and Carry, 106th and Western. What's your name, dude?
Mark.
Mark, you're the smartest person I've seen in this bar. Everybody else is drinking one can of beer or a cup, and you are walking around with a pitcher for yourself.
That's it, man. The more the merrier. I mean, bigger bang for my buck. I don't have to go up to the bar anymore.
Yeah, you're solid right now.
Done.
Yeah, you're in. You're in. You're out. You don't have to stay in the line.
Yeah, we're smart, not hard. My grandpa always used to say.
Couple of years since this thing happened, man. Are you ready to tie one on? It's like a big day for you, I would imagine.
Yeah, I just announced that I'm having a baby. Actually.
You are. First one.
Yeah.
Is this your wife?
No, that's a sister.
Sister-in-law.
She can't be drinking. If she was carrying that'd be a problem, huh?
Sure. So you left your wife at home so you could drink pitchers of beer.
She's gonna be my DD later. That's right. I knock her up and then I got a DD. I got a pitcher of beer and a DD. I was already planned for St. Patty's Day.
Dude, you're so Southside. I appreciate you coming on this show.
Of course, man. Anytime, man.
Look at all those people in this great suburb driving down 95th and Kedzie. What a great place. It's called Evergreen Park, but we know it better as the EP. We're known for more than just the Unabomber. Remember Ted Kaczynski? You guys might even remember that big old rooster on 95th Street. It's all part of EP's history. So listen up to the EP podcast. You might be asking why. Because we talk about all things and we celebrate all the great things in the 60805. It's the EP podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP podcast. Evergreen Park.